lovely people, welcome to the channel. Very fascinating. This older interview of Blake Lively resurfaced, and it's very interesting because when you hear what she has to say, it seems like really a confession of what was about to happen in the near future. So, and after we're going to go through a little clip also Justin Baldoni Gents Talk podcast, where he talks about himself, not so much about Lively, actually not at all.
Who really resent. It's important to say, okay, I believe in this, and that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm not being difficult. And then there are other moments to go like, am I the asshole in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was like, it was a really strange position to be in because I felt like, I don't want to just like be an actor. Like I want to, you know, I want to have more authorship.
And I wouldn't be authentic. You would feel it.
Yep.
You'd say something's off. I think the audience would feel it. And I've done that before. I've been in, I mean, how many times have you been in a situation in your life where you meet somebody or you're around a group of people and you're not feeling confident, you're not feeling yourself, you're feeling not enough, and you puff out your chest and you say something, and then there's a little voice inside your head that's like, you fucking idiot. Justin, Samir, what? You don't even believe that. Why did you say it?
Yeah.
And then then it's a double beat down because you're already not feeling good enough to be there. And then you're beating yourself up for saying something that you shouldn't have said because you're trying to prove that you should be there.
Yep.
And then you just dig a hole deeper, and then you leave, and then you feel worse, and then you start the spiral. And that's when you need the dopamine hit. That's when then you get on social media. That's when you go buy something on Amazon.
Yep.
That's when you drink. That's when you smoke. That's when you make a bad decision. And this is the self-awareness and the knowing that I think we have to unravel and start to get to as men. So I'll tell myself it's not true. I'll say, well, what if it's the opposite? What if we have an amazing conversation? What if I show up exactly as I am right now? And that's enough. And that is something that I was never taught. My dad never taught me that. No one in school ever taught me that. I didn't have a male mentor that taught me that. I was always taught to show up and be better than. But what if we show up as we are, and that is enough, and that is worthy of love? And that's our unique gift. Radical sincerity, radical honesty, radical vulnerability.
Man, I have to say, I showed you this part of the clip because I really enjoyed it, I have to say. I really enjoyed it, really resonates as well. And the more I hear this man talk, right, from his voice, that doesn't seem like he's trying to do anything with his voice. You know, we saw the clip on the set of the movie where he was acting, talking to Blake Lively, and some people are saying like he's trying too hard with the sexy voice or whatnot. Turns out the guy is just, that's his voice. That's who he is. But it's fascinating because you see in the details, right? You hear one person in the past talking about herself, right? Involvement into whatever she's doing. And it turns out to match exactly to what it's happened to Justice Baldoni movie and on the set, right? That entitlement, that what she thought was woman empowerment, in the end it's like being unclear and honestly not honest to the creative process, because you can actually enter, for instance, like a project with more honesty from the start. You don't have to sneak yourself in. That seems like a very weird way of trying to get that validation or authorship, right? There are other ways. You can simply be showing up, as Baldoni is saying, who you really are and what you really want from the start, then some people are going to say no maybe, and some people are going to say yes without the sneaking, right? So I like this to like really juxtaposition here, right? In the details you really see the people. When you listen to them, you really understand the people. And when you see also the receipts that Baldoni has presented on the website, right? It feels to me, it feels like everything is going like this, boom, clicking perfectly to one side, and you know the side which one it is. So an interesting podcast of a person that is not talking about lively, is just hinting about recovering and healing from a very difficult year. And the rest of the podcast is very interesting. It's very open, showing really somebody that wants to speak from a place of truth rather than trying to present a facade that he admits himself having had in the past, like many of us has had in the past when you're growing up. Because when you're young and you're a man or whatever, you just don't know shit. So through attitude and a facade, you just try to compensate, you try to navigate, right? Emotions, where you stand in the chain of your friendship and surrounding and hierarchies and all the mambo jumbo. And it's a trial and error. And it's beautiful that when you grow, you're gonna have people like this that can express with truthfulness, right? The vulnerabilities as well. And I enjoy this because I think it's important. Resilience is important. Getting stronger personally is important. Not everybody has to be a UFC fighter, to just make an example, but to strengthen yourself individually, it is important. But there are ways to obtain that they don't have to go through the, let's say, the facade of having to be like a fighter, so to speak. So to me, I find this type of conversation more valuable because they're trying to navigate the full reality of being a man, not just one aspect or a niche aspect of it. So